Hi there, my name is Aaron Short. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Very quickly, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me okay, and then I'll explain what's going on. So I need to know you can hear me okay. I'm going to check on my phone as well. Oh dear. You'll be able to guess what I did, which caused me a lot of headache today. Very quickly, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me okay. Actually, that sounds fine. Oh my goodness, I was starting to sweat there. Don't know why. I've got all these cables everywhere and all this stuff everywhere, and I can't find anything. I hate that. And then the backup plan, the reason I love having the MacBook Pro, the backup plan, I can always use the camera and the mic and the MacBook Pro if I have to. So it's never the end of the world. But I quickly plugged this mic into Quad Cortex and then plugged Quad Cortex. Well, that was already connected over USB for the audio interface, for the editor. So everything you hear, I've completely eliminated the Apollo Twin. Everything you hear right now is coming straight from the Quad Cortex. Now it's got me wondering why I've even got this stupid Apollo Twin. I'll talk about that in a second because I don't want you lot to make the same mistake that I made. Just going to tweak my lights. There's lots of things, lots of exciting things to talk about today, people. Very exciting, very exciting. I have the winner of the giveaway. Thanks to everyone that entered. That's really cool. And have you heard? You may not have heard yet. LR Bags are releasing an acoustic guitar. Going to talk all about that, what I know about that today. What I can say at least. And then Neural DSP are releasing a smaller Quad Cortex. Perfect timing since I'm using the Quad Cortex now to speak to you all. So it's going to be really interesting. And next week is Guitar Summit. I'm going. I'm just want to change the colors of these lights because it's driving me nuts. So the problem I had today is that Apple released, it's my own fault, Apple released all their updates for all their devices. I do like to stay on the curve. I shouldn't do it before I go live. I should do it after I go live. So I updated everything, and the Apollo Twin is, I think it might be working. Actually, I don't think it's even working, but I think at least it's lost my presets, which is like super annoying. Oh, there we go. It's better. Blue and purple. I'll stick with that. Yeah. So the Apollo Twins, like, it's a lot of people say that I'm wrong to say this, but this is how I feel about these companies. Oh man, here comes the rant. I know we shouldn't update. Okay, let's get out of the way first of all. If you have a gig, you don't update. So if you've got a gig one night and there's an update for Quad Cortex, you do not install the update. You do the gig and then you install the update. Okay, when you've got a couple of days off in case it freezes it, in case it changes your settings, blah, 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 anything like that. So I'm sure you'd all agree with me that that's how we should do things, right? We know that. But with Apple, I feel differently with Apple because they give the developers what, three months or more to beta test the software. So I'm sorry, but Universal Audio, there'll be a lot of ranting today, but be warned. Universal Audio, and some excitement too. Universal Audio have had a long time to get this working with their product. And a lot of companies will say, don't update the first day. Yeah, because you're not ready. You should be ready. And the reason I'm being YouTube Watch, yes, it does. And there's another one about to drop. I think they've finally got their stuff together. Universal Audio annoy me because the Apollo Twin is not fully compatible with the latest Macs. These latest M Macs have been out for how long now? 4 years? I'm considering upgrading this year to the M4. Mine's the M1. And it's been about one per year. So it's been maybe coming up to 5 years, but definitely 4 years. And it still won't allow me to run my Mac at full security mode. I have to disable some security in order... My jaw's clicking. Oh, I have to disable this security in order to run the Apollo Twin. So that annoys me. And people stick up for them and they say things like, well, it's not fair of Apple to release a new update every year. Well, YouTube Watch just said, didn't they? Made a joke about Quad Cortex not getting many updates. You see, if you release if you release too many updates, you annoy people because it breaks the platforms that they're using. And if you don't release enough updates, you annoy people because you're not releasing enough new features and updates. It's, you know, but this is particularly bad. This shouldn't have happened. Like, Universal should have got this working. Maybe there's an update on the website I don't know about for Apollo Twin today that I could have got. I don't know. I do love it, but this kind of stuff is annoying. I know. Okay, I get it. I should have waited. It can be expected. This whole stream could go down today because I'm running the latest update, which is a brand new update. Most people wait a few months for like .1, .2, .3 before they update. So I get it. It is partly my fault. I don't like to put the blame on. I like to take responsibility where it's due. This is partly my fault today. But let's go to a positive here. And you'll probably hear the planes flying. I've got no noise gate turned on. The positive here is that Quad Cortex is awesome for this job. So Quad Cortex, I've literally plugged this microphone that should not be named into the Quad Cortex, turned on phantom power, plugged a USB cable into the computer, and it's working. So now I'm wondering if I even need the Apollo Twin at all. I guess I do, because I've got like a thing with more inputs on it, and it does have some good plugins and things. Yeah, I do need it. But now's a yappy dog barking. Don't worry, I'm not going to rant about that. We've got dog lovers here. But I will say this. If you're looking for an audio interface, maybe don't buy something fancy like the Apollo Twin, which is like $2,000. If you're a gigging musician and you want an amp replacement or something like that, maybe get a Quad Cortex and use that at home for your interface. It's great. I could quite happily use that. I could quite happily use this Quad Cortex for my interface all the time. You can connect studio monitors to the back of it, and then the big knob on the Quad Cortex will just affect the volume of them and not the volume of the USB out if you don't want it to. So actually, Quad Cortex and devices like it make a fantastic audio interface. You don't need a dedicated one unless you definitely need a dedicated one. I've never used the inputs on my... It's an Octopre, so Quad Cortex already has 4 inputs. That's probably enough for me, actually. Now I'm thinking I might just sell the Apollo Twin out of spite. I've been doing that a lot lately. That's a reference from Curb Your Enthusiasm when he opens up he gets annoyed with the coffee shop, so he opens up a coffee shop next door out of spite. I'm sorry, I've had some bad experiences this week. I ordered a fantastic... I won't tell you who it is because I don't, I want to give people the chance to make things right. I ordered a... I've got a guitar strap that I love now. I'm not going to tell you what it is because you'll know who I'm talking about. Not cheap, but not crazy expensive. About $60. Really great strap. Really enjoying it. And I wanted to get a couple more for some other... Because I leave it on the guitar now. So I wanted a couple more. One spare and one to leave on another guitar. So I said, can you just make them slightly shorter so I don't have the thing sticking out with the excess holes in it that I don't use? And they said, fine. So I got them today. I opened them up all excited. I was going to put that on my main guitar so it hasn't got the overlap coming through. And there's no hole in the strap. Sorry. I'm sorry. Look, I do stupid things. I do a lot of stupid things. So, it's just this week there's been a lot of stupid things happen all at once. And you just have weeks where you just can't believe these things, right? Shall we start with the winner of the giveaway? Shall we start with that? I'll just say hi, then we'll do winner of giveaway, because I did ask them their permission to read out their name, and they didn't give it to me. So I'll give you their initials in case you're watching. But if you're watching and you did the giveaway, check your email, because I'm only going to give out the initials until you tell me that I'm allowed to. I certainly won't give out your email address on the air. That would be really bad. And I don't really feel comfortable even giving out your name I'll give out the initials. So if you're watching, I've emailed you about 10 minutes ago. So check your emails if you entered the giveaway. And if you've got an email from aaronshortmusic@gmail.com, then you are the winner. And I've asked you to provide your mailing address. So I'll give that away in a second. I'll give that out in a second. But first of all, Nick, thanks for being here. Thanks for putting up with these technical issues. And I will say, you know, having backups. I try to take backups to shows now. I always want to have a backup with me. This is a backup, isn't it? The Quad Cortex was a backup here. I mean, I've got this sitting here. This is the one this is like the one we're giving away. EAE are giving away, not me. But I couldn't use this because it's not an audio interface. So that's why the Quad Cortex is awesome and a lifesaver today. Fantastic. Very cool. In fact, that's actually probably worth a video in its own right, isn't it? So Nick, good to see you. Dr. McFarlane says, let's rock. It's more like pop today than rock, isn't it? But that's fine. Bedoin says, hi all, have a great show. Did I win the gear? I don't think it was you. I don't know your real name, so maybe it was. Let's see. Give me a minute. I'll answer in a little bit. Patsy, what's going on in the world of music? A lot. I'm really excited. Are you excited that LR Bags are releasing a guitar? I don't see the excitement on Acoustic Guitar Forum at all, but a lot of those players are kind of playing their own guitars that they already love, you know. They're not really interested in the dedicated stage guitar like me. But I think they will once I haven't tried this latest iteration. If it's really great, then I think a lot of people are going to want to get this. If and when I try it, it's really great. I always like to give that stipulation these days. Nick says, I'm curious if you ever sold anything on Sweetwater Gear Exchange. I have. I sold about 3 things there. So I sold about 3 things there. Reverb for me is better. Not better financially. Sweetwater is way better financially. If you choose to get their gift card, they don't take any fees. I've actually got $2,000 sitting at Sweetwater because I chose that option by mistake. In hindsight, I should have got the cash. You can't switch it. But there's something that I'm planning on getting in a few months' time, so I'm just going to let it sit there. I trust them, and that'll cover that. If you opt to take the cash from them as in form of a PayPal deposit, they will take a commission. Reverb take even more commission, but on the other hand, they have more eyes on the site. You know what I mean? But Sweetwater are really ramping up with this gear exchange thing in a huge way. I was just on the site earlier looking at some guitars, and I realized that it actually comes. Let me show you something here. Let me just find a guitar. So 335. I was looking at 335 earlier, and there's none in stock. So what happens is when you click on it, look at this. This is kind of wild. See if this is working here. Desktop. See, I've got all these things popping up now. Yes. That's the other problem with updating. You get all these things pop up. Are we still live? Yeah. So, look what happens. There's none in stock, right? So you can ask them to tell you when they're in stock. They should have some in a few days. But look at the top here. Used Gibson 335 as low as $26.99 on Gear Exchange, and you click that and it'll take you straight to the guitar. Isn't that wild? Look at that. So I've got a feeling they're going to be catching up with Reverb very quickly. This is pretty wild stuff. And also, if you do go to Sweetwater and search for, say, Cole Clark, as I would, because I think they're great. Anyone here got a Cole Clark? Let me know. Look, looking for Cole Clarks. We're not a dealer for Cole Clark. Okay, fine. If enough people search there, they will become a dealer for Cole Clark, because that's how they collect their data. But look at this. Browse used Cole Clark guitars on Sweetwater. Okay. So in a way you can buy, well, there's none available right now, but if there were, they'd be here. So in a way, you can buy Cole Clark guitars. In fact, I thought they were. Hang on. I think this is a bug. Yeah, it's a bug. Look. When I clicked through that link on the main site, it should have brought this up. That's a bug they need to fix. But in a way, they're selling everything, because anything you put on the used site, it comes up here. It's wild. It's really wild. And although they say used, look, this is not used. This is a new guitar. This is coming from Mass Music in West Milwaukee. This is a new guitar. They've just said it's used because they have to, I suppose. Or maybe it's marked. Maybe it says it's used because it's a floor model. I'm not sure. But it's funny. Other stores are now selling through Sweetwater via the used site. So if you, it's kind of weird. If you click on Sweetwater and you search for something that's out of stock, right? And they don't have it, or you can then get it from the used site, which consists of people like myself and you, and stores. So in a way, Sweetwater is becoming everything. That's kind of, part of me gets scared. Like, I love Sweetwater. They're very good to me. I love the affiliate program. I always go to them first if I'm buying something, if they have it in stock. Unless I can get a way better deal or something, you know, unless I just can't turn down another deal, I would go to them. But the way they're really getting their claws in, I mean, you know, it's great. I suppose it's great. And I always say, there's, you know, I don't defend some of the other stores because they're not very good. So that's how I feel about it. But yeah, I think at the Gear Exchange, I bought something there, which actually ended up being a pedal that came from one of the people that works at Sweetwater. It's very good. Now, I don't know how to deal with issues. I haven't had an issue on there yet, knock on wood. All right, good. Colorado's tuning in. Audio's good, thank goodness. That's a relief. You did an update. Yep, what a fool I am. In fact, because I just slated Universal Audio, I'm just going to see if they actually have an update for the interface live, because it's not fair for me to criticize if I just didn't download the correct update. So downloads, let me just see. This is a Apollo. I think it's due for a new. We're due for a new Apollo twin. I think we're going to see a new one sooner than later, and I wouldn't mind that myself. Mac OS. UA Connect 1.4, I don't know. I'm not sure if that is new or not. I'm not going to waste too much time on it, but yeah, there's a chance they've released it. If not, fine. I'll just keep using Quad Cortex as my interface. So what do I care? That's fine. Thank you, Quilted Maple. Thanks, John. Prodigal Nation. Graham. Rosanna, thanks for moderating. Good to see you here. A separate interface allows you to control levels a bit better in most cases. I know, you know, I like the Apollo, but I am kind of locked into it, and it's a bit fiddly in many ways. I actually wouldn't mind ditching it and just using the Quad Cortex for everything, in a way, but I don't need to, I don't need to do that. Julian, hope you had a nice stay in Germany. Yes, I did. I'll be back there next week. Anyone else excited about the guitar? I don't see the excitement, but I'm excited, and I'm going to show you a few things about it today. So thanks for joining. QC gets updates, LOL. Well, look, I think that the marketing for the new product is awful. I hated it. I'm just going to say it like it is. And a lot of people agreed with me, right? I didn't like that video they made. I didn't even enjoy it. It's nothing. I kind of miss the old days, like just show us an hour-long video of the product. Why we made it, how we made it, what it does, why you should get it, why it's different, what some players think of it, how people have been using it in the field. Let's get down to business and let me see if I want to get one. I probably will want to get the new Quad Cortex pedal because I really have. I'm invested in Neural DSP. I really think that Quad Cortex is one of the best products on the market. I don't think the new pedal will be what I want to be, which is an even smaller product for singer-songwriters. I think it'll be a pedal for a pedal board. But in a way that would be cool, because that could be good for like when I take my Cole Clark with the humbucker pickup to a gig. By the way, I see Line 6 have released a mobile editor for Pod Express. That's really cool. I think you got to plug it in with a cable, but it's still really cool. So if this new neural thing has a mobile editor over Bluetooth and I can make changes while I'm playing on the mic stand, and please, please, please tell me if they're going to do that the editor will also work on the mobile editor. If there's a mobile editor for the new pedal that works over Bluetooth, please tell me they're going to unlock some Bluetooth functionality from the Quad Cortex and let us run it on there as well, because I'm really missing that from Quad Cortex. And I hear there is a secret Bluetooth module inside the Quad Cortex, so that'd be great if that turns out to be the case. But especially on this new one, it'd be great to have that mobile editor for sure. I lost my train of thought now. But yeah, the Bags guitar, I'm going to talk about that. And the pedal, there's not much to say about the pedal. All we know is we've seen a leaked image. I will try and flash it up on the screen. Neural DSP Nano Cortex. They're saying, unless they're very clever and drop this name Nano Cortex into the URL of the video, then it's called Nano Cortex. Are they that clever? I don't know. I did find a very good quality picture of it yesterday. Now I can't find that picture, but there's one here on. Oh, here we go. Reddit. Can I drop? There we go. So this is the thing from Neural. So as you can see, there's no screen. So that's going to mean we need some kind of... And let's just talk about this for a minute. And before I do the Bags guitar, I'll tell you who won the giveaway. But let's talk about this. What do you think? This does look legit, doesn't it? You see those shiny edges like the real thing has? The big one has? The main one? The one we got now? It's such a different approach, though, because the Quad Cortex has the big color touchscreen and all the knobs. This has two knobs. They look like you can still rotate them. And then you've got some controls on their level, amount, bass, middle, treble. It says capture, so you'll be able to capture with it, which is great. They couldn't do that with the little Kemper one. The input looks like a microphone or guitar input. I wish it had two. I mean, imagine if you could plug in a mic and a guitar into that and use that as a little mini mixer for mic and guitar. That'd be killer. But I don't think they'll do it. They never want to cannibalize sales of the main product. So I think this is really meant to like go on your pedal board and give you access to their sounds, basically. And if it's $499, $399, they'll sell a ton of them, because to have that on your pedal board, and then if you're an existing Quad Cortex user, you might have that as a backup. If you've got like an HX Stomp on the pedal board, you might add this to have access to the Quad Cortex amps. Very smart move. If as a backup unit, I said earlier, you've got to have a backup with you. But if it's an interface, you could even use that with your laptop when you travel to go live and stream. So I think they'll sell a lot of these, and I think they're going to make the full announcement tomorrow. And I also think that this will release with 3.1.0, and that will give us 2 more plugins for plugin compatibility, bringing us to a total of 4, and a few new features in that update as well. So I do think the updates will become more regular now. I know they were very slow for the longest time. I do think updates will become much more regular now from Neural. I also wonder if this is the product they teased at the NAMM show back in January. Anyway, it's not groundbreaking. It's another... All we get these days are spin-offs of products. It's another spin-off of what we've already got. But it does mean we should get new firmware. And it will be cool for some players that want access to this Neural stuff at a lower price. So I think this can be really cool, and I hope that we get the release tomorrow. I think we will. All right, let's do the winner of the giveaway. So the giveaway was for one of the, not this one, this is mine. I actually do use this. Or I have used it a lot in the past when I did like a jam night. This is the Gig Mix 4.1. So Elite Acoustics are sending one of these out, brand new one of these, as far as I know, to a winner. And also one of their new power supplies as well. So they get 2 prizes. And the great thing about this is that it's so small and light and portable. And actually this one only has 1 XLR input. Some of the other ones do have 2 XLR inputs. But it's got 3 line inputs on the back. So I said before, the way I use this is I plug it into like a powered speaker, like a QSC K8.2, and it would give me basically all these extra inputs. So 3 other inputs and an XLR input into channel 1, and I've still got that XLR input into channel 2 or whatever it is. So it just really opens up a powered speaker, and it's just so light and portable. It's a great thing. I really like it. It's not going to solve all your problems, but it's a really cool product for those that need that, and even those that don't. And the preamps are very good. Yeah, I ran my voice and acoustic guitar through the Voice Live 3 Extreme into input 1 of my speaker, and this into input 2 of my speaker. So therefore I had my mic and guitar in one, and then this one took a second mic and a bass, and it allowed me full control over the sounds of those things. So I had an acoustic guitar, a bass, and 2 mics going through 1 powered speaker, and everything had effects and compression and reverb. It sounded great. So it really did sound great. So I'll just tell you who the winner is. I'll tell you their initials if they haven't replied to my email yet. I don't suppose they have, because I just sent it. No, they didn't. But before we went live, I went on the King Sumo site, and I said, draw me a winner. Select a winner. Again, I didn't do it live because I don't want to show you all those email addresses. For some reason, it doesn't just show me their nickname or their name or whatever. It actually shows you it shows you their email address. And I don't want to show you everyone's email address. So I did select the winner, and I did email them. And if they get back to me, I'll tell you their name. But as they didn't tell me their name yet, their initials are JR, okay? JR, and it's a Gmail address. So if your initials are JR and you've got a Gmail address, check your email, because I've emailed the winner and asked them to send me their mailing address. And if you're watching, let me know. If you're happy to let us know in the comments who you are, write in the comments. And if you're not watching, if they get back to me and say I can say next week, I'll let you know next week their name, but I don't want to give out their name if they don't want me to. So JR with a Gmail address has won the giveaway. Congratulations. Have we got a round of applause here? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Very good. All right. So congratulations. And now I'll go through your questions, and then we'll talk about my most exciting thing personally, which is the LR Bags guitar. And I'm going to bring up a picture of it. I'm sure some of you haven't even heard about this yet. I have tried one at the NAMM show, but that was a prototype, so I don't want to give any final conclusion based on that experience. It's not fair. Basically, they have shown a picture. I'm going to grab the picture so I can put it on the screen of Seal playing it. Where is it? Hang on. Yeah, okay. Can I show this? 1 second. How do I pause the video? There we go. All right. Can I show that one? Yep. Okay, I'll show that in a second. I'll just go through the comments first. So QC gets updates. Yes, 3.0 was great. They just did a bug fix update, and I'm sure 3.1 is coming real soon. And they're definitely speeding up now. I think they were slowed down by making this other product, and also by getting the plugins across. I think now they're going to move a lot faster. And I think it's a great product anyway. Look at right now. I'm using it for my live stream. It's fantastic. Rant away. I sure did. Rant on. Yep. Sometimes you gotta get it out. You know. Some things have to be released. Paul's in Ohio. Thanks, buddy. Steve in Derby, UK. Can't hear any background noise. Good. Okay, Bose S1 Pro Plus question. Using a guitar with the Bag's Anthem, do you get very boomy bass from the guitar? No. But there's a few things to think about. First of all, the S1 Pro Plus changes its built-in EQ based on how you position it. So if you have it on the floor, you get less bass than if you have it on a stand. It detects how you've got it. Some people will trick it into thinking it's on a stand when it's on the floor for that reason. I wouldn't go that far, but that's worth bearing in mind. Second of all, I've got no problem turning the bass on the built-in EQ to 0. You could try that. And then you're talking about the Plus version. It has those presets in there for the tone match. Go through them. One of them is a high-pass filter. Find one that doesn't have so much bass. It shouldn't. It is a. I don't want to say boomy speaker, but it is kind of a boomy speaker. But it can be fixed with the built-in settings. Turn down the bass, try the phase switch on the Anthem if you've got one, use the built-in tone matches, and don't worry what they are. You don't have to find a tone match for a Bag's Anthem. In fact, you won't find one. Just cycle through them until you find one that you think has the least amount of bass in it. I wish they'd actually tell us what they're doing with those graphically, so we could then we would know, but they don't. So. And you've got Oasis tickets. Well, now I wish I hadn't helped you because I'm jealous. Poo Ninja's saying this. I can't say that word. Naughty, Poo Ninja. Oh no! I clicked on the next one. Oh, you made me do it. Yeah, if Poo Ninja won, then we now know his real name. Steve Cassidy's here. Why aren't you going to Guitar Summit, buddy? What's going on? I thought you were going. Hello, Steve. David says, I can't believe I didn't win. I can. There was about 100 entries. So the odds in the end weren't that great. They're better than the Lotto, but not that great. Congratulations to JR. Yeah, it's not Junior either. It's JR and then it's a Gmail address. I'll tell you their name next week when they've replied and said, I'm sure they'll say I can give their name out, but I just don't want to until they give me permission. Because it's not like they even typed their name. The name is embedded in the email address. And so it might not even be their name. It could be their brother's email address they've used or something. I don't know. So I'll wait. But they'll know soon enough. That was a nice giveaway. I still think giveaways are a load of rubbish, but it's a cool product. It's a cool company. They're taking care of all the shipping and all that, any issues, and it's nice. Like I said last week, why wouldn't I want someone here to have one? It's nice. It's a nice thing, and I hope people see it as giving back through the channel rather than. Anything different to that. I know it sucks when you don't win. That's why I don't like giveaways. Because when you don't win, it's a drag. If they don't respond... if they don't respond, I've got Poo Ninja's address. Well, I guess if I don't respond in 7 days by next week's stream, I'll have to draw another winner. But I'm pretty sure I know... I recognize the name. I think they're a viewer. So I think we'll be fine. All right, let's talk about this guitar for the next part of the show, because we'll talk more about the Quad Cortex thing if and when we see it released. But what do you think of this? Now, give me your honest opinion. I don't mind what you say. I don't work for LR Bags. I'm very happy right now because, as you know, I'm a big fan of Quad Cortex. There's a new unit coming out, new firmware coming out. I'm a big fan of stage acoustic guitars and LR Bags. They've got a stage acoustic guitar. This is huge. I don't see much excitement yet. I don't think a lot of people know about this yet. I think if this thing sounds good plugged in, I'll be honest. I'm gonna be comparing it to Cole Clark. For me, Cole Clark is gold standard. For many people, Anthem is gold standard. Let me know what your gold standard is in the chat. I will definitely compare it to both of those pickups, albeit they'll be in different guitars. This is my standard. This is what I compare things to. This is an acoustic guitar, thin line acoustic guitar. It's meant to be comfortable. It's really meant to be used on stage, but it also does make sound acoustically. I've not heard it acoustically yet, but it's fairly big, so I imagine it'll sound decent acoustically. Designed by Lloyd Baggs, who, as we know, has designed guitars in the past. We spoke about that when he was on my live stream years ago. But really, this guitar is designed to be used on stage plugged in. That's what this is really for. So I'm interested, for those that are watching, like that play acoustic guitar. Are you interested? Tell me how interested you are. Are you happy with what you have? Do you not care about amplifying the guitar? Do you have a pickup? Are you happy with the Anthem? You already got the Anthem. You're happy with it. Are you waiting to try the new Baggs duet, hi-fi duet? How interested are you? I mean, I've been doing this the last couple of years. I've been doing this. I've been playing the Cole Clark, and I'm not going to say the Cole Clarks are not good guitars acoustically. I think they are very good guitars acoustically. I don't think that the one I have is great. I think it's good, very good. I think plugged in, it's almost unbeatable. Some things get close. I think the Anthem, maybe the Maiden, but I don't think it's not quite there. I think the Anthem can get very close in sound quality if you set it up just right in the right guitar. But I've become a big believer lately in playing guitars on stage, having a guitar for the stage. So this guitar is thinner. It's going to be more comfortable to hold. It's also going to be it's probably going to feed back less, right? Because the sound hole is covered. Yeah, that was my stomach, by the way. I'm juicing at the moment. So this is a stage guitar. So I really am interested to see what you all think about this. Like, is this something you'd be interested in? Discuss. I want to know. Steve says, I can't make Summit, unfortunately. Affordability mainly. Going to China in October, though. Is the China trip for YouTube, Steve? Oh, no. Someone already said that. I can't believe it. It gets the seal of approval. Did I play the right sound effect? I can't hear any sound on here. That was supposed to be the budum. Oh, no, sorry, this one. There we go. Steve says, depends on the specs. So what specs would you want from this? Like, what do you mean by specs? I can tell you the one that I played at the NAMM show, the neck is just like... And again, this is on the one I played, the prototype, so they may have changed it. I have to say that. But the neck on the one that I played reminded me of the Martin Standard Series guitars. And I really like that neck. I really like the Cole Clark neck. Cole Clarks can vary a little bit. They're not as consistent as like the Martin necks are. The Martin Standard Series necks are very consistent. They're not... I've played some that don't have the finish that I like. As you know, I've spoken about that in the video before. But the shape and the feel and the finish, I really like the Martin Standard Series neck. And to me, that almost felt the same, which was a big plus for me because that's really important. I believe it's 1 3/4 inch nut width. And yeah, I don't know. I think that was really clever because I think people coming from, especially from the Martin world, that have like a D28 and don't want to bother with a pickup or anything, want to keep it fully acoustic, well, now they can get one of these and play that and still be very familiar with how it feels. Very smart. And then that neck isn't that different to, say, a Taylor or an Eastman or whatever, right? They're all kind of similar now, the modern necks, for better or worse. So I would say price. I think the price has to be right. I mean, a new Cole Clark, a new Cole Clark or a new Maiden right now, they're around 2,500. The fancy ones are 3,000, and the budget ones, well, the budget Maidens are 21. The budget Cold Clarks are 15-ish. So I think it has to be on that lower end of the scale. I don't know the final pricing. I believe it's going to be under $2,000, but I don't know. I don't know yet. So, I mean, it's not. We're not talking about a $3,000 guitar. So, I think if they can compete with those lower end Cold Clarks and Maitons that are 2,100 down to about 13, 14, 1,500 ish, if it is around 1,500. I think there'll be serious competition. Again, if it sounds as good plugged in. But I think that it will. So I don't know. I'm not feeling the excitement. But I never do with acoustic stuff. You know, even with the neural thing though. Actually, I'm not really feeling much excitement about gear in general right now. Stuff isn't really selling. I'm not seeing any buzz about anything, not really. The neural thing had about 50,000 views on the trailer, but most of those comments are people that hate the trailer. But 50,000 views isn't that much. I guess it's not a new product, it's a spin-off product. And then with the guitar, I did start a thread on Acoustic Guitar Forum. There's a few hundred views. I think the problem with this is these teasers that we get now don't give us enough information. So with the teaser of the neural thing, it gave us zero information. All it did was made me late. You know, it just wasted half an hour of my day and made me almost be late to my gig. So that was I really didn't like that at all. This teaser, well, Seal is amazing. Seal is an amazing musician, and actually someone sang one of his songs last week, Kiss from a Rose. Amazing. He sings it in this video. You can watch this video on their social media. But I will say, Seal, as you can see, Seal plays left-handed, but he plays left-handed with the guitar upside down. So he takes a regular right-handed guitar and plays it left-handed. So the guitar looks upside down. So I have had a few people comment in that thread that I mentioned that it looks weird. Yeah, it looks weird because the first picture you've seen of the guitar is basically the guitar upside down. I think, personally, once you see the guitar the other way round and you actually hear the guitar plugged in directly and things like that, then I think people will get more excited. But I'm trying not to get excited because I don't like to get hyped up about things. Whenever I tell you, I say this to everyone lately. If I get hyped up about something, I end up not liking it. So I'm trying to really contain any sort of excitement about anything these days. But yeah, I am excited because there's a few products coming out that are right up my alleyway. I mean, Cold Clark have a guitar on their website they haven't even shown or talked about yet, which is a Cold Clark that sounds better acoustically. I'm really excited to try that. LR Bags have a stage guitar, a guitar that's supposed to sound the best plugged in. I can't wait. And then this new Quad Cortex thing, a new firmware. I'm so excited. There's also something coming from Fender. I just heard a podcast talk about a Fender release that's coming out. And IK as well, right? So I'm really excited for these products. They're right up my alley, these new products. I can't wait. I'm withholding my excitement, but I don't think there'll possibly ever be a time like this again where so many products are coming out that I am personally excited about. Or at least not for a long time. I don't think so. Hi-Fi Duet, basically an Anthem kind of successor, if you will, which I've been asking for years. Dedicated stage guitar from LR Bags. I've been talking about these for the last 2 years, about people should play stage guitars. Well, they've made one. Neural DSP, smaller thing. Well, don't really need it, but it's cool that they're getting bigger, and it does mean new firmware. That excites me. And then possibility of new Fenders and IK stuff. IK are good, so yeah, I'm very excited. I am. I'm just trying to contain it. But I'm not seeing that from other people yet about any of these products. And I think it's the market. And I also think it's lack of information about new products. So that will come very soon, I'm sure. All right, David says, "You don't." By the way, David, don't hold back. Okay, I want to know what you really feel. I'm not interested. I have my stage guitars. I've got my Acoustic sounding great to the point that friends with the expensive ones are asking me how I'm doing it. Oh yeah, that's right. So you know that I don't have the import Acoustic anymore. But I felt like the electric pickup on that one was out of balance in comparison to the American version. But that might have been a setup. I don't know. I've still got an Acoustic for sale. I do like it. I'm tempted to keep it for comparisons, but I'm tired of keeping stuff for comparisons. I'm not going to do it. I think they're cool. I don't think the Bags guitar will be competition for... Well, it will be, because all guitars are competition for all guitars. But they're covering different markets. The Acoustic is thinner for a start. Probably, I'm guessing it'll be lighter. Thinner, lighter... thinner neck, electric guitar neck. This is an acoustic guitar neck. Acoustic uses IRs. This is most likely using the Hi-Fi Duet. Well, an iteration of the Hi-Fi Duet for this guitar, right? This is definitely more acoustic focused than the Acoustic. So, and the Acoustic has electric sounds. Acoustic has the, will use batteries quite quickly. This is an analog system, so it won't use batteries as fast. They're quite different, and this is more my thing. But I do want to see a new Acoustic with even more. I want to see a new Acoustic with even more stuff going on with it. Ultimately. So I think this is more for the acoustic player that wants to stage acoustic, and an Acoustic is more for the acoustic electric player that wants to go acoustic. I think so. If I want to go higher end, I have the Rick Turner Renaissance guitars. If I want a real acoustic, I have the Martin Aura. But what if you want a real acoustic feel in a Rick Turner thickness, body thickness with the Hi-Fi Duet pickup system? That could offer you something you don't have with what you've got there. Not that you shouldn't be happy with what you've got. That's definitely a very good idea. All right, Armand's asking about Voice Live 3 Extreme. So, hello Aaron, if I may, am I correct to understand that on your recent VL3X promo, Home Where the Heart Is demo, dated around July 4th, you used your existing Voice Live 3 Extreme and not the new unit which you unboxed? I don't remember. I don't remember. I think I may have used the old one just simply because it had my settings already dialed into it. I didn't want to set up the new one. The new one wasn't new though. I did that video for them in return for a unit, and they sent me one which was basically like a factory tester. It was like one they make one, send it to them, make sure everything's okay, and then they start making them, kind of thing. I think I don't know that for sure. I think so because it had a sticker on it. So I think that was correct. But I have two of the brand new ones that I've tested and put back in the box. They're my backup units. I'm still using the original one now. And I think that's really good because all I see on forums is a couple of guys saying that theirs get these blue screen of death and they stop working and they start singing by themselves. But I've been using that now for 3 years at gigs 4 or 5 nights a week, and it's still fine. And I continue to use it now. I'm not even using the new ones yet. But I have tested the new ones. I've got no reason to believe there's any issues with them, if that's what you're hinting at. And also a friend of mine got one. He's been gigging with it as well, and he's not had any issues. Knock on. This is always knock on wood, of course. But yeah, I think that I don't actually know unless I look. I think. Let me look now. It's bugging me now. Voice Over 3 Extreme, best all-in-one for solo acoustic musicians. Okay, look, hang on. I can probably tell you. That I think that's my old one, yeah. I think I'm still it's dirty, right? Yeah, I'm 99% certain that's the one I use at gigs. So it's not one of the re-released models. But like I said, I still have the prototype. I still have the one they sent me for that video that I tested before I made the video to make sure everything was the same and working fine. I still have that. I might sell that one, because then I made another video where I said that I got 2 more from Thomann because I forgot to cancel my order. So I decided to keep them, and I bought 2 American power supplies for them. So I've got 2. I think I've got 2. Those 2, my one that I use at gigs, and another one that I bought as a spare before they stopped making them. I think I have 4 total, plus the one that they sent me for the video. That I'll probably sell that one as a test unit, cheap or something. So I think I got 4. But you know what people laugh. You can sit there and laugh at me. I don't care. I rely on that pedal so much, and I would be tempted to buy another one, but I'm not going to, because then you will laugh at me. But that's how much I like it. But I do wish they'd sent me a brand new one, and I might, if I see him at NAMM, I might ask him, because I made 3 videos that got 10,000 views, and I think I sold a lot of those. As you know, I've been pretty highly endorsing them. Thank you for your reply. You're welcome. Full screen. Well, I don't want to go full screen while I'm talking about the thing, but we seem to have got off the topic now, so that's fine. Yeah, I mean, look, Boomer says it here. I'm not jazzed about an acoustic guitar from LR Bag. Still thrill my HDR 28 Retro. The new pickup needs to be properly marketed to educate players. I'll be interested to hear the Hi-Fi Duet. I think the Hi-Fi Duet is getting more enthusiasm than the guitar, but I think a lot of acoustic guitar players already have guitars that they like to play, and that's why. But I think when people get their head around having a dedicated stage guitar, I'll make a prediction. If that guitar sounds as good as I think it will, I think that will be a huge release next year. I don't think acoustic players are in that headspace. I wasn't. I spent years trying to make one guitar do everything, and got so frustrated in the end, going through multiple systems multiple times, that I said, you know what, forget this. The Cole Clark sounds great plugged in. I'm going to gig with that, and then I'll have a Martin at home. I don't even pick up a guitar when I'm at home and want to play. I just, you know what I do? I take out the Cole Clark, because it's sitting in the living room in a bag from the gig. I don't come in here and open up an acoustic and take an acoustic out I haven't played for a while and tune it up and play. I don't. I pick up that guitar. So I predict that other players will do the same. They'll end up getting one of these or similar. I mean, I'm not saying, I don't know yet. I haven't compared it to Cole Clark. Cole Clark will still do things this doesn't do, I believe. For a start, you've got that. This has got a gloss finish that's got the satin finish. You can do the more percussive stuff on it. So again, haven't tested that yet, but I foresee more acoustic players moving to more stage guitars. There are a lot of people laugh about the Acoustasonic guitars. A lot of performing working weekend musicians are playing those guitars very happily. A lot of people are playing Maton and Cole Clark because of the systems. I think LR Baggs have been really clever to do this. I don't know why other companies, why didn't Martin do this? They've made the SC guitar, but to make an actual guitar with a new system that's made to play on stage. I mean, I guess they kind of did it with the SC, But even then, it was using existing pickup systems. Like, this is a brand new thing that only Seal and Molly Tuttle have played. So I think, I'll make a prediction. I might be wrong, but my prediction is that more players next year move to instruments like this, especially if the price is right. I think you're going to see it. But of course, that all depends on how the thing sounds. I wish I'd tried it. I wish I'd got one when Seal got one, so I could actually sit here and tell you what I really think of it, but I haven't played one yet. I've only played one that was a prototype at NAMM, and that I really like. I actually made the video, my favorite product at NAMM. That was it. So I wasn't going to say that, but that's what it is. But again, if you go back and listen to that recording I made, it was in the booth of a prototype guitar. I actually listened to it last night. I think it sounds great, but they've changed it a lot since then. So I don't want to use that as my foundation. So put the LR Bag's Anthem in a J200 inspired by Gibson last month. It sounds good, but nothing compared to the Baton Rouge Cole Clark system, which is super hot and sensitive. I want to tell you something about that it annoys me a little bit. People are saying all the time that the Anthem isn't a loud pickup. There's a few things that people don't realize. First of all, the original Anthem system, the big one in the sound hole, the big thing, there's a new version. I made a video on this. There's a new version called the Plus. It has a few more dB of output. Right. Secondly, the Anthem SL is about that output as well. So there are ways to get more level if you want it. I don't think it matters, but there are ways. So there's two things. The third thing, though, I realized recently is that the guitar it's in makes a huge difference. So I've played some guitars with Anthems that aren't very loud at all, as in the output volume from the jack. But I played a guitar a few months ago. It was an OM28C, OM cutaway, and it had the loudest output from an Anthem system, and it was the original Anthem system. The output was as loud as a Cole Clark. I believe that was because of the guitar. So the Anthem is very sensitive to the volume of the actual guitar and the way it interacts with the guitar. I agree, the Maitons, the Cole Clarks are louder. One complaint I have with them is that I hear some ground hum from those systems. The Maiton sometimes more so than the Cole Clark. I have heard a Maiton with no grounding issues. I've heard most Cole Clarks have the same sort of base level of hum. It is there. I don't hear it there with like a Matrix, Fishman Matrix pickup. I don't hear it at all when I'm playing, so I don't really care, but it is there. I can't wait to test this new system, the Duet, to see if that will have any sort of hum or noise. I really hope it doesn't. I'll be testing that out. But yeah, the Anthem I think is a little bit misunderstood. But I know it doesn't help you, Graham, because you know the guitar you put it into. But the installation is very important. The version of the Anthem is very important, and the actual guitar's volume itself is very important to get a loud level. Remember, I sold the Noel Gallagher acoustic. That was not loud at all through the Anthem system. That was pretty quiet. But I also feel like that guitar wasn't as resonant as the Martin, and I think that might be why. I really think the Anthem reacts to the guitar itself. But yes, it would be cool to put the Baton Rouge PG3 into a guitar or similar. Oh, Armand is still talking about the LEDs. Okay, I know what you mean, because I see that, you know, when I told you before, when the LEDs light up, they also light up in the next screen above, but it doesn't bother. I've always just seen that as a quirky thing. I've always just seen that as, I think I told you last week, as like a light bleed from it. Oh, you kept it. Okay. I mean, I can, to be perfectly honest, I can take out one of my new ones and test it, but I still stand by what I said before. I've noticed that on all the TC products. Like when I'm playing and looking at those LEDs, I've noticed that I don't just see the LEDs light up. I see some spillage of the light into the other one. I think it's just I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem. Here we go. Great. James. Yay. So I can now I can tell people. Just found out I won the contest. Awesome. Yep. So you got my email. I didn't give out your name earlier, James. I didn't want to give out the person's email or name. Most people just had an email, so I couldn't give out their name anyway, but your email does have your name in it. But even so, I wanted to check first that you're okay with it. So I presume you've read the email that I sent you. And of course, now I'll say, why weren't you here, James? That should have been one of the stipulations. You have to be at the stream to win. But no, it's fine. You don't have to be. But you should have been here. Great. Yeah, you won. You don't even know what the prize is. He asked me in the email what the prize is. You don't know what you entered, James. You still won it? I can give it to someone else. This is mine, but you've won one of these, Gig Mix 4-1, which is a very small, compact 1 XLR, 3 jack input mixer that I use myself and I really like. That implies that everything else I've ever talked about I don't like, but just an extra accolade for this that I do. I have actually used it at some gigs recently and it's been very good. And the power supply thing that I also reviewed on the channel, which you may or may not find use for, but you can basically use that to power this. As always, be careful what you power with it, but yeah, the main prize in my opinion is this little mixer. So it's great. If you get a gig where you're playing, they want you to go direct or something, then you could go out these two outputs into the wall. You'd have to get the right cable. Like there's no XLR output. You'd have to get a jack to XLR output or jack to phono or whatever you need to get. But just a nice way to add some extra inputs to a existing speaker. And yeah, it's nice of them to do that. So do check out their website. They've got other products too. They've got ones that go on the floor. They've got ones that have 2 XLR inputs. And they've got ones that are battery powered themselves. So this is like the tabletop smallest one. But great, yeah. I mean, if you're doing a solo gig and you don't have a Voice Live 3 Extreme, then something like this is great. Or if you want to plug the Voice Live 3 Extreme into this, then you could control this from the mic stand. You could put this on the mic stand and make your adjustments from here rather than on the floor. So I really like it. You're practicing. Why would you be playing and practicing music when you can hear me talk about gear that's not even released yet, James? I'm just kidding. You're doing the right thing. No, I'm really glad it went. I'm really glad it didn't go to Poo Ninja. No, I'm just saying that because they're not here. I'm really glad it went to someone that watches the channel. It's awesome. And yes, thank you to Elite Acoustics for doing it. James, I'll send them your address and your email and ask them to take it from here on out. Okay, so they'll get in touch with you to arrange the shipping, everything. I'm also glad that the way we did it was great. It wasn't like loads of people entering just to win something, like sometimes happens. It was basically like 100 people that watched the channel. Most people didn't even subscribe. Most people were already subscribed to the channel. So it was 100 people that actually watched the channel, and it was a nice way to give something back. So I'm glad it worked out the way it did. All right, cool. So yeah, so I'll be here next Monday. Next week I'll be at the Guitar Summit in Germany next weekend. Not this week, the next week. So I will be here next Monday before I go to that, and we can talk about that next Monday. And I'm really excited for I think the neural thing's out tomorrow, new firmware. I really like the Quad Cortex. It's really actually worked out really well that I'm using Quad Cortex today for the live stream. It wasn't planned at all. It was just a result of updating to the latest operating system from Apple. I'll go now and try to fix that. But I'm actually really glad the way it worked out. It's awesome. I'm really excited for Hi-Fi Duet and the Bags guitar, and I'm working on a way to get them to review them, or at least to play them here so I can give my thoughts on them in the live stream. I'm not sure how far I'll take that, but Also excited to go to Germany and see this new Cole Clark model that's coming out as well. So there'll be a lot to talk about in the next few weeks. But I will say this, you know, you don't have to buy anything. It's nice to talk about this stuff. You don't have to buy it. You know, I was thinking today I'd like to go down to one acoustic and one electric and just kind of, you know, have more space and time. But I do think it's a good time right now for gear. I do think there's some stuff coming out that is actually interesting, at least for me. I bet for a lot of people out there, they're not interested in any of this stuff. But for me, this stuff I'm genuinely interested in. I'm excited, just trying to keep a lid on it. One last question. Any opinion on the Fishman Loudbox Performer versus their SA220? Well, a friend of mine was using the SA220 at a gig last Friday. I went to see him play. Sounded great. I've never gigged with one myself. Maple, you say that. I haven't been doing it. I haven't been doing the miles thing. I've never been good in my life about doing those miles. I know I'm really messing up. I'm not. Oh, I'm not good. I'm good at a lot of things, but not flying. And I keep reading. You know, like the baggage allowance is everything's so confusing on their websites. The baggage allowance, what you can take. Then you go there and they say you can't do that, and then you've got to pay for that. And I'm also flying different airlines all the time. I'd have to fly the same airline, right? I've been with Condor to Germany both times. Condor Airlines. They're all right. They're not. I thought they would be cheaper than the other ones. They're not really. Didn't have too much of a bad time last time. But, yeah, I guess I should look into the mileage thing. So, I haven't played with the SA220. Friend of mine played one last week. Sounded really good, I have to say. I was impressed. The Loudbox Performer, is that the most expensive one? If it is, I have one to show on the channel. So I would say a couple of things. SA220 is no longer made, so I wouldn't buy one of them, but you've already got one. Are you saying would you switch from that to the Performer? I wouldn't. If the SA220 is working fine, I would stick with that. I've only ever heard great things about Loudbox amps, and I've reviewed the mini one on here that I really liked, and that's why I wanted to do another one. So I went straight for the biggest one. So I've done the smallest one, the biggest one, and then you've got all those other ones in between. But I don't think I'd switch. I mean, we've already got the SA220. The Performer, I think, is about the same kind of, basically the same thing, isn't it? 2 channels, similar power. I think the form factor of the 220 is good, the way it's so tall. I've heard people having problems with them, but I've heard people having problems with everything. I heard a guy last week say that they bought a Loudbox amp and they really didn't like the sound of it and sent it back for a Roland amp. But the Rolands are good too, but I can't imagine that this person will be happy with the Roland over the Fishman. I think they've got a problem with their EQing or their pickup system. So if I was you, I'd stick with the SA220 if it's working fine. The only way I'd move up from that is a much bigger system, like a fully powered system like the QSC K8.2s and a mixer, or from the Voice i3, or I might do one of the EV tower systems. But it's, you know, if the 220 is working for you now, then you don't need to get anything bigger or spend any more money. Yeah, okay, stick with that. You're good. All right, I'll wrap things up. Thank you so much for joining me. Should be some more stuff coming out. If anything really exciting comes out, I'll go live. I mean, we're going to get something about the neural thing this week. So of course, make sure you're subscribed and ring the bell, because I might do a surprise live stream at any time based on what comes out. I've got some more videos to come from Gear Street. Watch out for those. And yeah, it's quite an exciting time in gear. Just as I've decided to sell up most of my stuff and focus more on my playing, there is some cool stuff to talk about in gear, so I will be covering it because I am pleased it's coming. All right, thanks to the moderator. Thank you to the winner of the giveaway. Thanks for entering the giveaway. Thanks for your time. I'll see you in I'll see you when I see you. Take care and be well. Bye bye. Thank you to Quad Cortex for saving the audio today. I'll go and try and fix the Apollo Twin right now. See you later.